Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. It's your Bee Swarm Simulator guide. Today I'm giving you guys a 2022 White Hive guide. Let's go. Alright guys, so the first thing we're starting with is the gifted bees you're going to need. Now first off we have the gifted basic bee because of that 1.2 times pollen. That is very overpowered. If you're wondering how to get it, I'm linking a video I made in the description on how to get a very easy gifted basic bee. Alright guys, and next we have the Brave Bee, which you need because of that +1 bee attack. +1 bee attack is straight up good, and also it will actually give more honey from your Sarsta. Alright guys, next we have gifted Hasty Bee, which gives 20% player movement speed. I kind of just prefer to have this one. You cannot use this one if you want, but I just like the extra speed because it's good for gathering honey tokens. As you can see next, we have the gifted Looker Bee because of that 25% critical power, which will once again just help with your Sarsaw and give you more honey, and then it's just straight up good with attack. Alright guys, next you need the Stubborn Bee because of that 20% ability token lifespan, which is really useful, and especially when you're collecting honey tokens from your Gummy Star because those disappear very fast. Alright, and next we have the gifted Commander Bee. This used to be 5% critical chance, now it's 3. It got changed in the new update, but it is still worth it because 3% critical chance is very good. Next we have Exhausted Bee. This guy is very important. It gives 20% white field capacity. That's a little insane. So definitely make sure you have a gifted Exhausted Bee in your hive. Next we have the gifted Honeybee. Oh my gosh, I cannot explain the importance of this guy. It gives 1.5 honey from tokens, and white hives will get a lot of honey from tokens. So make sure you have this Honeybee. Alright, next we have the Shock Bee, which gives 25% white pollen. That is just honestly insane. It's actually even better than the gifted basic bee because it gives an extra 5% basically. Sure, it doesn't boost red and white, but it's still 25% white pollen. That is insane, guys. Alright guys, next we have the Carpenter Bees. Now the Carpenter Bees, I have 3. I recommend you have about 3. Make them all gifted if you can, but it's very good because it gives 25% pollen from tools. That's just straight up good. And then they give you marks, which you need as a white hive. You're going to need those marks. And next you have the gifted Lion Bee that gives +2 colorless bee attack. That's pretty good because it once again just upgrades your Star Saw and will give you straight up more honey. Next we have Mythic Bee. Now the Mythic Bee, you want to have at least 4 sources of melody. I recommend having at least 2 gifted Mythic Bees at all times. The other way you can get melody is actually by using the Toy Horn Bee Quip, which will give you melody. That's why I only have 2 Mythic Bees. Alright guys, next in the new update, we actually need a Shy Bee because of this 5% bee ability pollen. That's pretty good, guys. 5% bee ability pollen is great, even though it is a red bee, but it's still good. Alright guys, now we're getting to the Mythic Bee section. So first of all, you're going to need a gifted Point Bee because of that 1.2 times capacity. That's pretty good, and it also is pretty good to have balloons on your farms. Next, we have the gifted Fuzzy Bee, which you need because of that pollen haze. That's actually really overpowered, and upgrading like the field is just straight up good. Next, we have the Precise Bee. Now, you're only going to want one Precise Bee if you do not have the Gummy Baller. But when you have the Gummy Baller, it creates precise marks, which are very good for the Gummy Baller and will give you insane amounts of honey. So 1 if you have no Gummy Baller, but 3 Precise Bees, gifted Precise Bees. They must be gifted if you do not have, or if you do have the Gummy Baller. Next, we have the Tadpole Bee. Now, you guys are going to want 4 sources of Baby Love. This is because Baby Love gives ×2 pollen, and it's a little insane. So I have a gifted Baby Bee, which will give it to me, but you guys can also, you're going to want 1 gifted Baby Bee and 3 gifted Tadpole Bees because gifted Tadpole Bee will give you Baby Love, and also frogs and bubbles are pretty good. Alright guys, Vector Bee, probably the most overpowered bee in a white hive. You're going to want about 16 of them. Like seriously, 16. I know it's going to take a while to get, but honestly, just click the video in the description I made about how to get Mythic Bees / Mythic Eggs easily, if you want to know how. Alright guys, one more thing, I didn't mention this. I do not have a full 50 hive, but when I do, I'm going to be putting a gifted Rage Bee in there. You want that in your white hive, because the +1 bee attack, we've already established that that helps out your Star Saw. Alright guys, next we have the Bear Bee. This is very good. You don't have to get this. It's not complete. I recommend getting it, but if you don't have the Robux, it's totally fine. But it gives straight up 10% pollen for your gifted bonus, and the bear ability gives ×2 honey, which is very good. Next, we have the Festive Bee. That's pretty good if you have the Festive Wreath, because the Festive Wreath does boost a lot. It is yet another mark. The 15% red pollen we don't really need, but festive gifts are pretty good. Alright guys, now Gummy Bee, obviously this guy's super important to a white hive. It gives 5% honey per pollen, and if it is gifted, it will actually make its glob ability better. See, it now covers 81 instead of 49 because it is gifted, which just means more goo for us. Guys, next we have the Photon Bee. The Photon Bee gives 5% instant conversion, and it is just another colorless bee, which will really help out with your Sarsa. Why can't I get that right? Alright guys, next we have the Puppy Bee. The Puppy Bee is pretty good because it gives 20% bond from Treach, which is going to be really useful when you want to level up your hive. Also, if you have the reindeer antlers from Bee's Mist, that is pretty good because that gives you extra capacity. Alright guys, next we have the Tabby Bee. Don't forget to get that Tabby love up to 1000, and as you can see, it gives 50% critical power, which is really important to being a white hive because once again, Sarsa. Alright guys, now the Vicious Bee is actually a little bit debatable. It only gives -15% monster respawn times, which is pretty good, but I mean, if you want to farm like mobs and like loot, then you want your coconut crab and stump snail to respawn as fast as possible. But honestly, like for the time it makes, it's not that big of a time difference. I like to keep mine, but it is not completely necessary for a white hive. Alright guys, and finally we have Windy Bee. Oh my gosh, this gifted Windy Bee is so important. It gives 50, oh wait, it's up there. It gives 15% instant white conversion ×2 boost from clouds, which is seriously insane. Don't forget to get this gifted Windy Bee. It's very important. And one last thing, you don't want to be a white hive until you have the Supreme Star Amulet. Make sure you get this and you have Gummy Star. After you've like grinded a lot, and once you're reaching the trillions, that's when you want to start grinding for that double passive, the Star Saw and Gummy Star, because that will just make you more honey. Don't forget to get Gummy Star first though. That is the most important part. Anyways, guys, that will just about do it. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe if this video helped. These videos take a little while to make, and don't forget to comment if there's any video you guys would like to see me make. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on Beeswarm Simulator Guide.